Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Ronan the Accuser, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
Brandon.
I'm Steven.
And I'm
I'm
going to throw it
Chance.
over to. There he is. There he is. Hey, I just talked right over him. Can you say your name again?
My name's Chance. I get distracted easy.
Sorry about that. Hey, Chance, how's it going? And how is everybody else doing? How are you doing today, Chance?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a nice day.
Yeah, that's good. It has been actually quite nasty today here in West Virginia. We had a pretty nasty squall of snow blow through. How are you doing today, Brad?
I'm doing great, and I love that Fred's like, how's Chance doing? How's everyone doing? I'm gonna go with Chance first. Perfect start. Just
Hey, I'm
nailing that
really
intro.
bad at everything I do.
Well,
I'm really bad at this.
I appreciate it. No. I appreciate it because the first time he left it up to me and I dropped the ball. So this time he made sure that I had a cue.
Sure, yeah.
Well, how about you, Brandon? How are you doing?
I'm good. I've just been busy trying to get caught up in life.
It sounds like you've had a very busy week. And how about
have.
you, Steven? Yeah, okay. How about you, Steven? I'm sorry again. I wasn't trying to talk over you, but you took so long to reply. I can't leave that much dead here, buddy. All right. Steven, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, Fred.
All right. Well, I'm off to a great start already today, as everybody can tell. So let's just hop right into events that are coming up in the near future. So coming up on the 17th of January, that is this coming Saturday, there is going to be a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. That is our local game store. I myself will be attending, as will likely be Brad.
What? Likely, I'll be there.
Well, if there is an odd number of people,
I'll
you
still be
oftentimes you'll. Oh, well, fair. Okay, well, Brad will be there, as will I, and I'm hoping that everyone else will be there. Literally everyone who plays MCP, because we need more people. But this is only going to be a local tournament. It's not a high stress event. It's just a chill, hang out, play games day. So if you're interested, come on down. And if you can't make it, that's fine. We'll be fine without you. Then coming up on the 24th of January, there is a tournament at Old School Games in Toledo, Ohio. This is going to be the Toledo, Ohio Appalachian Cup qualifying event. So if you are already signed up, good on you. Head on over there. It is currently at capacity, but we have it on good authority from Daniel that it is likely that some folks will not be able to make it to the tournament. So if you live nearby, head on over and I get in touch with the tournament organizer. I believe they have a wait list.
They do,
And
the wait list has
it is
moved.
likely it has moved.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
people have moved off the wait list. Like they're moving through the wait list.
There's
Oh,
already
yeah, okay.
been circulation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah, hop on that wait list and see if you can get in the tournament. I myself will not be able to make it, but
Fred's also not coming to the tournament this Saturday at Lost Legion because he's not signed up.
Am I not? Oh gosh, I need to sign up to that. Oh, I can't export my lit. No, I'm kidding. All right.
You probably can
then
now,
coming up,
Fred. By the way.
I probably can now. Then coming up in February, on February the 21st, there is a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. This one is our second Appalachian Cup qualifying event. So this one, you all need to try and make it to. Everyone should come. This will be a fun event. We're trying to get as many people as possible. Our max is 32?
32.
that our max?
There are
Yeah.
13 signed up now, and the first 18 get custom cards that I had made. They're tactics cards with
Yeah.
alternate art and updated wording because they got errated. And one card
Yeah.
didn't get errated, but Michael has literally begged me to make it every time I've made cards, so I finally gave in.
All right, and I should also call out that coming up this Thursday, we are beginning a league in South Charleston. So if you're interested in participating in a league, we're trying it out. I'm excited to start it. That should be a lot of fun. This is just a.
It's Spider-Verse themed. I called it War of the Spider-Verse, but you can play anything you want. Every week there's a special thing that if you do, you get one of the fancy Spider-Verse cards. First week's Prowler, all you have to do is play a game. And then there is like league sheet where you check off doing things like throwing stuff, and you earn other free goodies. Especially if you're a new player that doesn't have any of the goodies I've given out at all the tournaments. I have extra to give you if you come play.
Brad and I ran a demo recently, and it was a lot of fun. And the folks who played seemed very interested in the game. So I'm holding out hope that we get some new players. Okay. All right. So those are the events that are coming up in the near future. I am going to throw it over to Brad because there is some news out of AMG. They posted their timelines documents recently, and there is well,
they did. Go ahead, Fred.
There is some information that we have gleaned that is relevant to the future of the game. So, Brad, what have we learned from these timelines documents?
We learned some affiliations. So first of all, the was because they didn't actually post this on their website. They posted it on Adepticon's website because that's where they're going to have timelines. But we know the full timelines. I know Cerebro's updated with all the things. But the important part, I feel like, is the affiliation stuff. So one thing we got was Mighty Avengers. So I'm actually just going to go affiliations.
So we know what Mighty Avengers, some of the Mighty Avengers that are in time.
There could be more that are not in timelines. But we got Black Panther Chosen of Bast, Black Widow, Blue Marvel, obviously, Captain Marvel Cosmic Avenger, Iron Man, that's original flavor, She-Hulk, Spectrum, obviously, and Steve Rogers, Captain America. Steve Rogers.
So that is Steve Rogers 2, the one that does not have a leadership associated
on
with
his card.
That's correct. Yeah, it's the one that comes with original Human Torch.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also got.
Okay.
Oh, actually, Chance probably wants to talk about this.
The Mighty Avengers stuff?
Yeah, how do we feel about these Mighty Avengers?
So, I can make do so far. It's not ideal. It's not perfect. But I have a list. I have a couple of things trying. I mean, I was willing to try with Blue Marvel, Spectrum, and Taskmaster and call it good enough. But there are some actually good models in here. Cosmic Avenger, I think is quite good in this affiliation. Possibly. Just depends on how well you can fuel her. If you can get her there by turn 2 and keep her there for the duration of the game, I feel good about that. Chosen of Bast is just a good model. He's going to be like a little workhorse type thing. He has a pounce that gets turned on by 1 power getting passed his way, which is cool. He helps their pay-to-flip game, which is interesting. Blue Marvel also is kind of cool on pay-to-flips because it gives him more opportunities to roll skulls and to pass power that way. And then he's probably getting cut, I'm going to be honest, but Steve Rogers, Captain America, is technically in the roster for now. Only because he can spend 3 power to reroll the Helios.
I honestly have no idea what he does. Like, I have not looked at him. I've never seen him
not
on the
all that
table.
much. he's got the same thing that Baron Helmet Zemo has, foreshadowing, where he can spend 2 to move medium if he's not holding something. Then he can spend 3 to reroll any number of attack dice, and then he can raise his shield and his attacks or whatever. And he, in fact, cannot do this all day.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he
Okay.
is somewhat lackluster, but again, rerolling the Helios might be cute, so I'm going to try him.
Wait, how are you rerolling
And
Helios?
If it comes from him,
yes,
he can
so
reroll
any affiliated character can make the attack for ultimates.
Oh,
Specifically, I'm
the
referring to their
ultimates.
Helios. The ultimates,
their
yeah.
Helios, not.
I'm too
actual
lazy to say it.
Helios.
Yeah, I guess I should specify since they have a.
They do have an Iron Man,
Yeah, they do.
which I did not think would
so
happen.
he can re-roll the ultimates.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's kind of cute. And then also, if you pass him power, he can do his on your left, move up medium, and then with his range 3 builder, double tap the mid line. Is it good? Probably not, but it's interesting. And then there's a bunch of other stuff that, like, there's a million and one things that work with this leadership. It's so open ended. I'm going to play with a bunch of
And
things.
we know
but at right
Hulk's
now, I think
getting
it's serviceable.
changed.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a way that matters for this.
Maybe not for this affiliation, but
yes.
Okay. So that we know that about the Mighty Avengers. Do we know any other information that we've gleaned from the Timelines event?
We do. We have the Rescue Iron Lad pack. Iron Lad was not affiliated with anything in Timelines.
So
Which
he's
is
only
interesting.
going to be New Avengers or whatever it is?
Yeah, it looks like it. He's not an Avenger. He's not a Mighty Avenger. So, Ironmonger's Cabal and Criminal Syndicate. Rescue was A-Force Avengers Shield.
The Shield is interesting. Not, like, super interesting, but I didn't think she was going to make it there.
Yeah. Based on the comics, I didn't either, but there she is. And who's the other one in that?
Kang.
Kang. Oh, yeah. Kang is a Cabal leader. But we don't have his card, so we don't know anything about that. And then we also got information on Moondragon and Quasar. We don't know anything about them, obviously, but we know that they're guardians. And Moondragon is a defender and an avenger. I think that's it. Oh,
Okay.
and
So,
not surprising, Valkyrie and the Warriors 3 are Asgard.
Right.
The
I
most
mean, I think
obvious
that
thing
was a
in the
given.
world.
So timelines still happening. They still are putting out information for timelines.
Shock to everyone.
But I mean, do you think that it'll happen at Adepticon? There will be a timelines event.
There's one for people to sign up for. It's never never filled up.
I don't think they've successfully pulled it off yet. They've not had a full event.
No,
So
I don't even think they've hit halfway the 32.
It's kind of shooting itself in the foot, though, right? Like, when is the timelines event? Do you know what day? Or it has to be multiple days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which means if you want to play timelines, you can't participate in Worlds.
That's the problem. That's the big problem, is that you don't even get to do the main tournament. You have to do the timelines event.
I would say timelines might get more traction if it wasn't fighting for Worlds, but
yeah,
I agree. I think that it needs to sell itself better as a thing to do, to take the time that I would spend if I were going to Adepticon. And I don't feel like it does. It doesn't earn it. So, for those of you who are participating in the Timelines event, my hat is off to you. Congratulations. You are way cooler than I am.
it sounds like a fun thing to do. It just,
I agree.
It's so much other stuff taking the oxygen up in that room.
Yes. Yeah. And that kind of event is so hard to just have it be a thing that's not associated associated with a major event like an Adepticon. Like, there's no way you're ever going to put together a Timelines event that's not associated with a major con. And then it's also having all of the enthusiasm pulled away from it by all the stuff that is happening. So it's in a weird spot. It's just in a weird spot. Steven, you were saying something. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I did the Timelines event when I went out to LVO 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago now. And I quite liked it. I liked the curated list. I liked the expression of skill that you had to show by playing multiple lists. You know, you had to do it on the fly. It's just not the same repetitive over and over. It's like, okay, I'm playing Spider Foes. I have this, that, and the other thing. And you know, like with me, with Spider Foes, I know exactly what I'm doing. But it kind of stretches you out a little bit so that
it's an interesting puzzle. You get to play with a new meta, with a curated list. You don't have all the pieces you're used to, and you have to share pieces across lists. It's so cool to think about.
I agree. I absolutely agree. It's just it's so limited, and the models that they choose seem so arbitrary.
Well, especially this time, because they said before that they weren't going to have multiple versions of characters and timelines at the same time, and they absolutely do. All the Iron Men are in there. All the Spider-Men are in there. Like, there's so many characters that there's
all the
versions.
Spider-Men being in there makes sense because they're all from different universes.
All the Peter Parker.
That's what I mean.
Well, yeah,
they're
whatever.
all from different universes.
All the Captain
But if
Americas
it
are
doesn't
on
hold
there.
true across the whole list, everyone has it. If it was just the Spider-Verse thing, I would have said, "Oh, that's kind of a cute quirk of them doing."
Yeah, that would have been
stuff.
fun, but they don't. But it doesn't hold
No,
up that way.
it's all the Thors, all the Captain Americas, all the Black Widows, basically everyone that has multiple versions. All their versions are in there.
Well,
yeah.
I guess we just wait because obviously AMG will do their own timelines announcement, and hopefully they'll go into an explanation. We'll see what they have to say.
We'll see. All right. Well, let's move on. Or is that it for the information that we got out of the Timelines event? I think that is.
I think that is everything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to games that we've played recently. So most of this segment is going to be us talking to Chance because Chance participated in a tournament recently. But before we do that, I do want to talk about a game that I played against Brad, where we played yesterday actually, and we were playing on Skrulls and Mutant Madmen were the two crises that we played. We played at, was it 20 Threat? I think it was 20 Threat.
I think so.
I played Maximus the Mad. I played King Black Bolt, and then Gorgon, Karnak, and Medusa. That was my list. Brad, what did you play?
Cyclops, Gambit, Cable, Squirrel Girl, one other model.
It was Captain America.
Oh, that's because I was
First
playing
Avenger.
Avengers. That's right. And see, Fred, I did it to the listeners too. They thought that
You
was
do.
an X-Men list. Yeah, and of course, reserve member on Gambit, the best Avenger.
I had a feeling.
Is.
I played Medusa into this roster, and that was absolutely correct. Medusa actually is really good into this because a lot of this roster depends on rerolls or adjusting your dice, which she prevents you from doing. Like, she's great into Gambit and into Captain America.
And that's why she was dead at the start of turn 3.
Yep, but she drew a lot of attention.
Yeah.
She did a lot of good things for me. Yeah. So this game, it was I played out. How would you? Here it was Mutant Madmen. So we were split between two different sides. I deployed what's her face? Medusa first. She went out and grabbed a scroll.
My
And
scroll.
then yeah, his side scroll. And she got attacked by everything. And she daze in round one? I think she did.
Yeah, because
I think she
I
did
ended
daze
up
in
with
round one.
that scroll.
Yeah. And then I the first round went pretty normal other than that, where I score 3 and he scored 4. So oh, and we also forgot about Mutant Madman, but we kind of we fixed that. Uh, then things stopped going well for me. I could not flip a Mutant Madman to save my life. I every single time that someone was alone on a piece, they would try to flip it and roll no successes, blanks and skulls every time, and it really became a problem in the last round of the game, where Karnak was alone, tried to flip the point and failed. Maximus the Mad was alone, tried to flip, or he wasn't alone, but the other person who was on it was injured, tried to flip the point, failed. It happened so many times that it was really a problem. It was a huge problem for me, and I end up losing this game. I end up losing pretty handily. I want to blame the fact that I could not flip a point, but Brad was probably going to win anyway. Like, even if I
Yeah.
had been able to flip the points that I tried to, we would have tied at the end of the round. And then I think that Brad was a little bit up on attrition, so it was probably not going to go my way anyway. But still, I blame Mutant Madmen. I hate that. I hate pay to flips. Brad, do you have anything to add?
I hate Medusa. I hate
The
King
way
Black
we've
Bolt.
talked about it makes it sound like Medusa died real early. Medusa did a lot of work this game.
I
Medusa was great.
I had to attack. I killed her because everybody was attacking her with 2 attacks on every activation.
Yeah, yeah,
So no one else was getting attacked. That was the problem.
yeah. It
Well,
was it was really good for me.
Steve was bouncing a shield, but that was it.
hmm
Yeah, it's
All right. Well, that was that. That was the only game I played this week. Steven, do you have any games to talk about?
No, I do not, unfortunately.
Okay. And Brandon, I'm assuming that you don't have any.
I have not got to play.
Okay. Then I'm throwing it over to Chance. Chance, why don't you tell us about the event that you were participated in?
Yeah. So my local store, they finally moved to a location that is a lot easier to run bigger events in. So they worked with Drew, the guy who does Brew Brawl, to throw on a monthly. And Drew's great. So it was in my neck of the woods, and I have been playing Hydra for the moment, just as a little test out type thing. And while I was goofing off with my friends last weekend, I played a couple games of Baron Helmet Zemo. And I thought, yeah, this might work. So I figured I wanted to see if I could, instead of goofing around with Helmet Zemo, if I could make him actually work. And he
Are
did.
you saying you were playing his leadership?
His leadership, yes. I played
Oh,
at every game of the event.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. The whole thought process was if having 4 tactics cards is so bad that people complain about tactics card leaderships, maybe it's good enough to not have a super good leadership, but get 6 tactics cards if you do like some weird transitive property math. It worked out well enough, obviously. So I had my first game, I played into Web Warriors, a guy from the area named Kyle. We flipped Lockdown and Skrulls, which probably is about the worst combination we could have gotten out of our rosters for his list. So he had to play more of a fighty type webs. And we played at 20 points, which lets me do a couple of goofy things. I ran Helmet Zemo, Abomination, Hulk, Bob, and Winter Soldier. I think that's 20, and I'm pretty sure that was who I ran. So for people who don't know what Baron Helmut Zemo's leadership is, because I'm sure you don't, it doesn't get played that often. When this leadership becomes active, add 1 Hydra or unaffiliated team tactics card from your unused pile to your available tactics cards. So you get a 6 tactics card. You get to pick that after you've seen what the opponent's bringing, because you declare leaderships after deployment's done. And then additionally, once per turn, after someone pays power to play a team tactics card, choose one of the characters that paid it, and they gain 1 power. So you kind of get a little refund into using tactics cards, which comes up for a couple of goofy things that I like to do with it, namely with Hulk. So Hulk has a personal team tactics card that usually people don't play because it's expensive and it's basically everything he can do on round 1. There's a card called Gamma Launch, where on Hulk's first turn, or not on Hulk's first turn, on any turn really, you can spend 3 to pick up a friendly model that is within 2 of him that's not holding a token, and throw them range 5. So it gets kind of goofy. So my opener for this game was I got priority, so I got to go first. I had Hulk in position to go to the far right scroll, and he was standing next to Abomination. I spend 3 power to chuck Abomination as far forward as he can go, dead center in between the 2 middle scrolls. So he starts on the deployment, on the middle line of the table, threatening both scrolls. And then I have Hulk, who normally can't pick up after doing this. He has 1 power because of Baron Zemo's leadership. And he walks over to the far right scroll, picks up the scroll, and then the Web Warrior player gets to have a choice on what he wants to do. He had a string of bad luck that put him in a bad position. This game kind of played out poorly for him in a couple of ways. One, he sent ASM up to pick up the other far left scroll, safe grab it, failed the roll, got pushed towards me, and then decided to contest my back lockdown point, which was not that great of an idea, because I had a couple of people who hadn't gone there yet, and I had Abomination then activate, pick up his home scroll, and then walk backwards towards ASM and take a swing at him. And I got lucky and pushed 4 damage through on the first swing. Ooh. And it just continues to downward spiral from there. I think round 1, I have Bucky go with Soldat active, bounce off of Helmet leadership with Hydra tactics to get in range of ASM, and he manages to finish ASM off on like his first turn. And he drops his point. Bob walks up and picks it up, and then from there he has an injured ASM starting turn 2. And it just continues to spiral, and he doesn't manage to pick up any traction with 2099 or anything. And I end that game 18-8.
That opener is an incredible opener. Throwing Abomination into the middle. That's crazy. It's great. It's fantastic even.
It's really funny. It's funny how... So I have one other game that we'll get to that Gamma Launch basically ruined for the other guy. And I think part of it is for people, like people play this game, you ingrain yourself when you're planning turn 1. Like if something's on the midline, it's already gone, right? Now, that's not the case. But if you stop paying attention to it or just aren't focusing on it, it just doesn't register, and you continue to play turn 1 out like normal, because turn 1 can be kind of formulaic. But we'll get to there because that's the last game. The second game I had was against Savage from the Pennsylvania crew. Jason, Harner, and Les came from Pennsylvania to play in the event. It was awesome having them there. Savage is a really good player. We go to play the game. We flop, I think, for our crises, all 4 20-threat crisis. We didn't get a single choice of a crisis that wasn't 20, and ended up playing Jailbreak and Scoundrels. I played much the same list, except because it's Scoundrels, I don't want Bucky, so I swap in Iron Fist for Winter Soldier. Also, because I know that Savage likes to run his 555 list. He'll do Star-Lord, Rocket, and Nova as his core, and then he'll bring in 2099 and King T'Challa. And it's terrifying. I hate it. I don't like any of it.
Uh-huh.
But I don't... Part of it was... And I mean, part of winning any Marvel tournament is a little bit of luck on your side. But Jailbreak is just not a crisis that people have 100% knocked down yet. It just takes it's a really weird to play. But there was basically the left half of the board was abandoned to everyone but Bob and Rocket. Bob and Rocket were sitting on their scoundrel, picking up their prisoner and waving at each other. Rocket would step up, take a shot at Bob, and occasionally he once did daze him. But on the other hand, the other flank was pretty much everyone else on the board. We kind of played back and forth, and this ended up only going to round 3 because there's just so many points on the board. I had Red Skull's Grunts scoring the middle point for me, while the scrum was happening on the right-hand side. And round 2, he is trying to make a play with King T'Challa into Baron Helmet Zemo, who's holding a thing. But this game I brought... It's so annoying have to deal with this, but I brought Sacrifice, Fallback, and Heroes for Hire, all as defensive cards, just to undo that knot. So I Heroes for Hired one of the attacks. 2099 tried to spend her early, and I Heroes for Hired that one and lived it and got to displace. He put 2099 in a spot, but I could have displaced 2099. And then I left Iron Fist there, and later on in the turn, he goes with T'Challa to try and jump on either Red Skull or Baron Zemo. And I managed to make a cheeky sacrifice that gets Iron Fist killed and steals priority away from Savage. And that right there was the beginning of the end. We go to the top of next round. I think King T'Challa has 1 or 2 damage on him. And with priority, Red Skull goes, incinerates him with Cosmic Obliteration, and knocks him out. So that's 1 5 threat that goes down. He then goes with Nova because he sees that Iron Fist is awake. Iron Fist has 7 power, which means he can do a jump kick and then Iron Fist someone. So he tries to take out Iron Fist with Nova, and he biffs it. I think he only managed to put 3 damage on him. And Baron Helmet Zemo takes us... Oh, sorry, no. At the start of this turn, Rocket runs away because Hulk has wandered over to Rocket's point. And then I have Baron Helmet Zemo go and try and put down 2099 so that he doesn't get to activate. Baron Helmet Zemo, if you haven't played him, does a surprising amount of damage. He's not as consistent as his smaller version, but he does do a lot of damage. So his Spender, as much as I hate it, is a good opener. If he has the power to do Spender into Sword Strike, it's a lot of dice, and one of them has Pierce. So he opens up into 2099 with a Spender, so that's 7 dice with a reroll. And then if you double tap someone and the second one is a Sword Strike, it's another 7 die attack. And I find on Baron Helmet Zemo, I'm more often playing I'm a Baron for the rerolls in a later round to confirm a kill rather than the power early on. So that's what I do here. On the second attack, I do a 7 die Sword Strike. With a round 3, I'm a Baron for 3 rerolls. And so with the 3 rerolls plus his innate reroll and the fact that the Sword Strike has Pierce, I take 2099 down. I think he had 6 or 5 health left. And I daze him. So he doesn't get to activate this third round with T'Challa or with 2099. He then goes with Nova, tries to daze Iron Fist, fails, and on one of the attacks, I Warpath towards him so that I can jump kick onto his Star-Lord and Iron Fist him before he can activate. The activation part doesn't end up mattering because the Iron Fist just knocks out Star-Lord there, and I managed to score exactly the 16 in that third round.
Wow, well done.
Yeah. It's so goofy. I love having a billion tactics cards. And then also it's interesting, you don't notice as much, but like Sacrifice basically being free is pretty cool because you can refund the power to one of the people who need it. Refunding a power off Fallback is interesting. Warpath is effectively free. It's just kind of fun.
I really have not even considered Helmet Zemo's leadership, mostly because he seems so much less good than his 3-threat version. But the way you're describing it makes me want to play this affiliation.
It's kind of goofy. So objectively, Zemo 1 is a better 3 threat than Zemo 4 is a 4 threat. However, Zemo 4 is that doesn't mean Zemo 4 is a bad 4 threat. He is, in my approximation, a solid B. The only thing that's rough is he's a little fragile, especially being 5 health on that front side.
Yeah.
His leadership is goofy, and I am sure at some point or another, I'm just waiting for the day that they release some weird team up card that that breaks things wide open. I was doing it a couple times before they changed priority system, but with priority, you could do a back grab and a midline grab with Spectacular and Black Cat with Cat and the Spider. The standard safe grab with Black Cat, but then Specky gets the power refunded by the leadership, and he's now allowed to pick up, and his economy's not ruined. That's not super relevant, but at some point, some tactics card is going to be broken by this silly leadership. Gamma Launch comes close, but it comes with a caveat of you have to open your first turn with Hulk, which always feels kind of bad.
Well,
I mean, you still put Abomination in the middle of the board in round 1.
Yes,
It's really good.
It's fun.
Well, I was running Helmet Zemo with my Baron Strucker and Red Skull Master of the World, and I was always trying to get him killed because my 6th card would be 2 more shall rise.
yeah, you try to do that's a fun one.
Yeah, kill him, please, kill him.
The other goofy thing you can do with Hulk, and I didn't end up ever doing it because the situation didn't arise. It's really, for me, it's just a silly piece of tech that I like to do on hammers. But with Hulk, you can play Venomize turn 1 and still pick up. So depending on the team and if it's on hammers, I have done it before, where the last activation of round 1 for me is Hulk plays Venomized, gets a power refunded, picks up his Hone Hammer, and then walks closer to the fray. And then it becomes a game of trying to get more than one hammer on Hulk, because trying to kill a Venomized Hulk is an uphill battle. It's not impossible. You do reduce your energy defense to 1. So against certain teams, like I would not do it into Wakanda. I would not do it into Guardians. But I was playing into Brotherhood in one of my practice matches, and it came up. Brotherhood doesn't do a lot of energy. It's goofy. I don't think it's good, but it's kind of fun and situationally okay on there. I think if I was playing this again for real, Venomize might get dropped for recal, and I just play a bunch of generically good tactic cards.
Fair.
The next game I got into was probably the closest game of the day, was with my local Mac. He was on Magneto Brotherhood. We played on Lockdown and Skrulls. I played a lot of 20 threat today. It's that same team as last round. Bob, Baron Zemo. Oh, no, sorry, not the same team. I replaced Red Skull with Abomination. So Bob, Baron Helmet Zemo, Hulk, Iron Fist, and Abomination. So this one was just a lockdown brawl. He moved up. I got priority. I picked up a Skrull with Iron Fist. He picked up the other Wing Skrull with Emma. She got pulled forward. Hulk did not do his Gamma Launch turn 1 play. I chose to walk forward, try and kidnap Emma by picking her up and throwing her back and then hitting her. I didn't manage to daze her that round. And then at the end of round 1, he teleports Magneto to Emma because I gave her the power by damaging her with Zemo.
Ooh.
And Magneto shows up and 1 rounds Abomination. And at the top of 2, I have a dazed Abomination, and I'm sweating. I'm behind on points, and it's not feeling great. I then managed to go with Abomination before he potentially bites it, and I think he dazes Emma and then runs off somewhere else. But Juggernaut manages to chase him down and kill him. It might have been with the help of Magneto, but by the end of round 2, I've lost Abomination, and we go back and forth. I get a couple of nice dazes that help me stay in it. I'm up by 1 point. I think in the last round we were neck and neck tied. But on lockdown, I lucked out, and the one that his bunker was set up on was the one that shut off where Magneto was. And I went with Iron Fist to try and do something not pick up. I went with Iron Fist to like daze Clea or Toad, and then had him walk away. And later on Hulk's turn, I used Gamma Launch that game for Hulk to pick up Iron Fist and chuck him to a point so that he could reposition and contest. And it came down to, it was literally neck and neck. It was if Emma could do 4 damage to Baron Zemo with an attack and her superpower. And if she needed 1 power to do Mental Lash. So she walks forward and she goes and she whiffs her first attack. And so we didn't even have to see there. But I ended at 17-16.
Ooh,
Yeah.
close game.
It was very close. I realized later on that I almost dropped the ball there. And like I threw by moving. I went with Bob, who was holding a point, and I walked him back and had him not stand on that secure so that it was harder to reach him. But with that point, Emma could walk up, daze Zemo, which was the only healthy model on that, pick up the thing he was holding, and then contest it away from Iron Fist, and then we flip, and he's up 17 and I'm at 16. I think if I had done it better, I would have put Bob on that point so that at least we tie and go into overtime, if my math was right. But it was game 3 of a long, stressful match, so I wasn't thinking precisely. But for Mystic with a reroll, it ended up going okay. But it was an insane game. So the last game was into Jason Harner, I believe also out of Pennsylvania. He's one of Savage, Les, and Bryce's crew. He was playing Brotherhood as well, and we flipped Struggle for the Cube and Cosmic Invasion. And this one's on 17 threat. I pick 17, and I'm expecting Magneto. I don't know why. I just played a lot of Magneto recently, and there was a bunch of size 1s on this board, but it is a D map, so I think Mystique was probably the right choice for this one. A high point scoring D map. But this is the one that I think Gamma Launch plus just a little bit of a lapse of judgment on my opponent's part. Like I said, long day. This was game 4. They drove from Pennsylvania, so he's probably been up 12 plus hours at this point. I get priority. I start with Hulk, and Hulk Gamma launches Baron Zemo to the far left point of Riots, which ends up being within a 1 single walk of my opponent's left home cube. And then Hulk walks to the middle. And he must not have clocked it. He must have, like I said, being late, just assumed that anything on the midline has gone already. And he goes on the right side, has Blob walk forward, pick up a point, and secure the back D. Or secure the side D. And at that point, I realize what he did. And Baron Zemo walks forward, picks up his back cube. That was what Prowler was supposed to pick up. And with the Mystique leadership, it would have given him the charge money to get on the point and start making attacks. And then Baron Zemo backs up to the lefty. So, and at that point, his models only have enough space to just double move. I think Toad and Prowler double move to that point to take the secure from me. But I, at this point, end this turn with a 4-1 extract lead.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then it doesn't get better from there. On the right-hand side, I had Red Skull, and I had walked him up to that far D, and he had put models there to prevent me from scoring it, and then he had also used the Mystique token on his back D. But I start the turn off, and I figure the thing that's going to help keep him in this game is the Mystique token. So Mystique's already over here. I'm just going to have Red Skull beat her to a pulp, and we'll see what happens. So I load up a charged gauntlets swing from Red Skull, who's holding 1 cube fragment already, and he sacks it into Blob, who's taken 1 damage from his cube fragment. And I roll 6 successes. He blocks nothing. DR from Blob doesn't save him. He dazes in 1 action.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a criminal amount of luck on my part, especially after in later rounds, Juggernaut, maybe it was round 1, Juggernaut walk slid, tried to punch Red Skull, 8 dice, rolled 1 success.
Yeah.
Which happens, it's Marvel, but it just, yeah. But at that point, the cube drops off Blob. Red Skull picks it up, and I decide I don't want to be by 3 of his models anymore, and I walk him towards Hulk into sacrifice range. Mystique walks up, shoots him, deals 1 damage, and misses the rapid fire trigger. And Baron Zemo flees from Toad and Prowler to my home bunker, which Prowler eventually chases him, does like 1 damage to him or 2 damage. I think it was 1, and he took 1 from cubes. And then Toad puts the token on the far left one and moves to his home. And we end round 2. I'm up a considerable amount because I have all of the extracts at this point. And do I still have priority at this point? I still have priority because I was 4 wide and he was 5. At the end of the round, at the start of the next round, I'm like, okay, Red Skull has 2 extracts. If I can get him somewhere and remove, I have a lot of models on my home D. If Prowler dazes, I can probably do it with 2 attacks from the Grunts and Red Skull, 1 attack from Red Skull if he moves and hits him. So I have the Grunts go, and they double tap Prowler, and each shot does 3 damage, and Prowler goes down before Red Skull even takes a turn. And from there, I decide instead of moving him to my back D, Red Skull just moves as far away from the rest of his models as physically possible towards the left D. And it continues to get worse from there. I think at that point, who moved then? Was it Blob? Yeah, Blob thunderous splashes Bob and takes him out and picks up his thing. Yeah, I forgot this last turn, but Bob had previously Hydra tactics off Hulk to walk to his home D point to remove the Mystique token and then walk back towards my models. So Toad had to go there. But he dazes Bob, picks up his token, and from there, I have Zemo go, play I'm a Baron to heal 3 damage and run to the left D. He walks Mystique over as far as she'll go, and then I try and get Hulk to the point that Juggernaut and Blob were on. I can't quite make it. I don't have enough space. And then I try and throw Juggernaut away or Blob away so that I can at least score it, and he plays Indomitable. And then from there, he plays Asteroid M to move Juggernaut over to Zemo and Red Skull. He moves Juggernaut onto the side D, tries to punch Red Skull to daze him and take his 2 cubes. I sack it into Zemo. I think Zemo takes 2 damage. And then he pushes him away, and I play Warpath to move Zemo back into a nook. There was a really annoying size 5 piece of terrain for the opponent there, and I managed to edge it out where Zemo was nooked in by the size 5 terrain. So he can't go anywhere closer to Red Skull with Do You Know Who I Am? And he can't throw anything from his current position at Red Skull with Do You Know Who I Am without it hitting Zemo first. Because Zemo's only holding 1 red where Red Skull is holding 2. And at that point, he throws it. I think he throws Zemo at Mystique just because the game is decided there. And I score out 17-10 at the end of that round.
This sounds like a classic case where the dice said, "You get everything you want."
He had it rough.
Yeah.
The Gamma launch thing was rough, and then the dice continued to back me up.
Right.
Yeah. Now, part of this list is the fact that I'm running Baron Helmet Zemo's leadership with what I would say are 3 of the strongest models in the game and some good tech pieces, being Red Skull, Master of Hydra, Hulk, and Namor. Namor didn't ever come out, but he was in the list in case I wanted to do some double bubble shenanigans on a fight crisis.
Mm-hmm.
I have Thanos in here because I can, and Death Decree is fun. I didn't play him in any of these games, but I played him in practice ones. And I'm not sure he's as dead as we think he is. And then Iron Man was here for some Helios stuff, just in case that ends up mattering. But Iron Man 4 threat specifically for rerolls in Helios, but he didn't come out.
Oh, okay. So did you just say you think that Thanos isn't dead in Hydra? In this
just period. I think people have said that Thanos is kind of not worth it anymore after his big nerf. Like they think that he's only good in Black Order at this point, and Black Order is a bad team, so you don't see him that often. I played him in a couple of practice games, and Death Decree still feels like an obnoxious superpower that is worth 8 threat on a model that can control people as well as Thanos can. So
Okay.
right now, I am fiddling with the current rosters. I have Space, Soul, Space just to give him that extra bit of action compression, and Soul to help him power up
Get power.
and
Yeah.
constantly use specifically Death Decree. And then also, I think I'm more so trying to use Cosmic Blast rather than the Strike, hoping that Soul powers him enough up. So the 3 power from having leadership or from having gems plus the Soul gem will keep him sustained, and he can drop a couple of 6 die souls as they have wild sizeless pushes and slows on them, and he ends up being an annoying control piece and can cosmic portal his friends around, or if he needs to move himself, he can space gem himself. And then also Baron Helmet Zemo has strategic genius to help him get those triggers and such. That's good here, but I also think Thanos probably should still be experimented with other places. Anywhere that models like the original Baron Zemo are. I mean, 9-die Master Swordsman Strike is still 9-die Master Swordsman Strike when you get to it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, that sounds really rough. I do not want to see Thanos still around. I hope that he stays dead because he is. I have been bad touched by Thanos multiple times.
I think everyone who's played for anything longer than 6 months probably has a horror story or two.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, thank you for telling us about this event. So you win, right? You went
I
4-0.
did. Yes, I went
Yeah.
4-0.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you think you're gonna keep playing with this Hydra Baron Zemo list? Is this what you're playing now?
I will circle back to it. Me, Mac, and Josh are doing like a New Year's thing where we each picked an affiliation for each other, and we have to get 10 games on that before we're allowed to play other stuff. I was assigned Hydra, Cabal, and Web Warriors. I have finished Cabal. I just finished Hydra as of this event concluding. So I need to play a couple games of Web Warriors, and then maybe I will circle back. We'll see what happens.
What did you throw at the other folks, just out of curiosity?
So Mac has to, because of me, I made Mac play Brotherhood. Historically, he has hated playing into Brotherhood.
Okay.
Josh is the Brotherhood player.
Josh
the other
is,
one.
Okay. I see.
And Mac hates playing Brotherhood, partially because of Josh. And I figured maybe if I made him play 10 games of it, he'd start to understand the pieces more. And if he understood the pieces, he'd know how to tear it apart. And for Josh, I knew he had the models for it already, so I told him to play Spider Foes, because it's a different way to play than smashing face with Magneto Brotherhood, and maybe it'd help.
Okay. Well, thank you for telling us about this event. It sounded like a lot of fun, and I'm sorry that I couldn't attend.
I don't expect you to drive 3 hours for it, but
it was not in the cards for this weekend. All right. So now that we're through the games that we played recently, I think that it is time to go over the person that we are here to cover today. That person being Ronan the Accuser. This is Ronan, Ronan. Otherwise known as Ronan the Accuser. His defensive line is 3 physical, 4 energy, and 4 mystic. He has 7 stamina on both sides of his card. He is a threat value of 4. He is size 3. He is a medium mover. He is on a medium-sized base, and he is affiliated with the Inhumans and the Guardians of the Galaxy affiliations. Brad, why don't you do his attacks? You know what, Brad? Why don't you do the first few of his attacks?
That sounds
otherwise
more
no one
fair.
can do it. Yeah.
Brad, do half the card. Okay. His first attack is a physical strike. Range 2, 5 dice, cost 0, gain power equal damage dealt. Wild throw before damage is dealt. If the target character is size 4 or less, this character may throw the character away short. And then energy, universal weapon, range 4, 5 dice, cost 0. Wild push before damage is dealt. If the target character is size 4 or less, it may be pushed away from this character short, and after this attack is resolved, if damage was dealt, the target character gains the shock special condition.
Okay, Steven, why don't you do the last attack?
Okay, we have Creed Justice, energy attack, range 2, strength of 8, will cost you 4 power. After the attack is resolved, if damage was dealt, the target character gains the stun and stagger special conditions. And also, a wild, we have explosive. Before damage is dealt, other enemy characters within 2 of the target character suffer 1 damage.
All right, Chance, why don't you do judgment?
Sure. So reactive superpower, Judgment, costs you 2 power. When this character or an allied character within range 3 of this character are damaged by an enemy effect, after the effect is resolved, you may use the superpower. Character that caused the effect gains the Judgment special condition.
Okay, and Brandon, why don't you finish out the card?
A reactive superpower, the Accuser, costs 0 power. If an enemy effect would cause this character to be dazed or KO'd, it may use this superpower. It is not dazed or KO'd. After the effect is resolved, this character advances short, makes 1 attack targeting the enemy character that caused the effect, and then is dazed or KO'd. He is also a gem bearer of the Power Stone, and he's immune to poison.
All right, and that is Ronan the Accuser. So what does everyone think about this 4-threat model that's been around for a while? Brad, what are your first thoughts here on Ronan?
Awesome. All right, so strangely, last year I played against Ronan a lot with my Apocalypse list. It seems like Guardians players were playing him a lot, and I countered him with Colossus, and it went really well. The reason that happened is that he is not very good about action economy. Like, he doesn't have a charge or anything like that. He either... I mean, he does have universal weapon that's range 4. That's okay. It's free and okay. But he really kind of just wants to be up in there and striking so that he can throw the characters at each other. And he just, if you displace him, he does not like that. I also think the Accuser ability is one of the coolest superpowers in the game. Just period.
He has death throws. He can take you out after you take him out.
I think that's a really cool ability. But he does have problems with displacement, being displaced.
Right. Steven, what do you think about Ronan?
I think early in the cycle, this was their first attempt at Bill.
Okay.
If you want my honest opinion.
Like just a 4-threat in the mix bruiser kind of
A size 4 displacement model.
Yeah.
I think this was the first attempt at Bill, if you want my honest opinion. And it's no wonder that they're both in the same affiliation, but he will never get taken because, Bill.
Right. Well, this one is in Inhumans, and the more I look at this model, the more I think he has a place in Inhumans. Like, I think that there's something here that is nice. There's a lot of useful stuff here on this card.
Yeah, this is the first experiment went wrong. So
fair.
Opinion.
Brandon, what do you think about this guy?
Oh, I think he does some board control if you can get him into position. I always liked him on close moving objectives, but I feel like the game there's at the 4th threat, I think it's just really hard to fit him in, even in his affiliations, and having that 3 physical defense. Even since he's got the 14 health, I just feel like he's always just died so easy. Like every time I've ever played against him, like he's never really worried me. Like it doesn't feel like he puts out a ton of damage, and he can just. It feels like he just gets hit so much harder back.
Yeah.
Judgment, however, is super good, and I think that's what. I think the judgment alone has made them very cautious about doing specific things and or making his attacks more dice or giving him more offensive output because of the judgment special condition is so good.
Yeah, we should say what the judgment special condition is because there are so few models that give it out. So judgment is a special condition that when you have it, when an enemy model does you damage, you gain no power from it, which is great. That's a really powerful effect. That it makes this model very good at fighting Immortal Hulk. Like if you can put judgment on Immortal Hulk, that is an unhappy Immortal Hulk. And
I think
then like
I think that's a
yeah,
big thing because I think the character itself wants to be a really fighty character when you really need to play him very like reactive. Like you're
yeah,
really just trying to get those throw and push triggers and trying to put judgment on as many characters as you can.
right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right. He even with 14 health, his only defensive tactic. I mean, he has no defensive tech, and against physical attacks, he only has 3 defense, which is pretty mediocre.
Yeah. I mean, judgment to some characters does say like it is pay 2 power put stagger on them, but
Yeah,
like it's just there's some times where it's not going to matter a ton and then he's just going to die.
right, right. Chance, what do you think about Ronan the Accuser?
He's fine. He's all right. I think the problem becomes is he's like the third or fourth best fourth threat in every affiliation he calls home.
Mhm.
And he keeps getting pushed farther down the list by newer and newer releases. The biggest thing with Ronan is forcing your opponent to interact with him because, like I think Brad mentioned earlier, just controlling him, he feels so sad. If your opponent doesn't have a reason to attack him, you don't get to use most of his kit. And if he's walking around making one universal weapon a turn or one strike, he's not worth 4 points. He's barely worth 4 points if he gets to make 2 of those attacks. He needs to be, in my opinion, he needs to pick up early and then force your opponent to come deal with him while he is controlling with universal weapon or strikes. And when they come in, you judge them. And the only benefit to his high health pool is it means is unless you messed up somehow, when they inevitably do get around to dazing him, he will be able to walk towards them and spend them. And
Yeah,
that's
he'll
pretty
have
cool.
enough power generated
Yeah,
because he took that much damage. You're right.
he should. Yeah, unless you like were taking it in increments of 2 and you judged too many things or something weird happened. But he should be able to on KO and death walk forward and slap someone with Kree justice. And yeah, that is the trouble. There is where you have to go through all those hoops. When for Guardians, for controlling things, you could have Bill walk twice and throw the thing. Or if you're trying to do damage, at this point, Yondu can annihilate someone with 700 rerolls or whatever it is he's doing. Inhumans
Right.
have Maximus or Medusa if you want to
Medusa.
go with the 4 threats. But honestly, they probably just brought their amazing 3s and their leadership of choice and then splashed for a 4 threat who does something way better. He's missing a little bit of something. But again, whoever, like Brandon said, I think they're scared to give it to him because of how annoying the judgment condition can be.
Right. Right. Okay. Yes. I think that this character is the definition of an early model that they still hadn't quite figured out how to properly make everything work, and he's not broken enough to catch a buff. So he's in a weird like he's functional and he will work on the table, just not quite as good as a
Right.
lot of other 4 threat models will.
And a lot of
Judgment,
that was coming from the competitive sense. I know AMG have gone on record as saying like they don't need everything to be competitive. If it's good enough and it captures the flavor, they're fine leaving it there.
Right.
I think I would have liked the judgment to just be an ability that you pay for, and you can judge a character for a game.
See, now I don't know about that. That seems annoying. Because at least this point, they like if it's something you can pick, it'd be awful. Like the whole game is built around that swing back mechanic, and making judgment have to be something that they do to themselves is, I think, the way that they balance it. Because I think the only person there's the two new models, the ones that got judgment, are the ones who can put judgment on proactively and pick their targets, but they all have conditions. Like Nova has to hit weird triggers, and Clea has to buff someone's dice who's attacking a high threat model. I think point and click superpowered judgment would be some form of negative play experience to the point where I don't think they won in the game.
I apologize if I didn't mean it as something like you have to pay the power and choose a character. Like there still should be like clauses like you have to be damaged, or like I think it'd be like if you were dazed by a character, you should be able to judge them. Like, but I think that should be like when you're dazed, you can judge the character. Kind of, is it Scarlet Witch that has an ability like that?
I think she has the same ability he does.
Yeah.
Right. Except she's the one that needs to get damaged. It's not your allies.
So this one says he can judge people for hitting him.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying she can't judge others for hitting her friends.
Right. Yeah. I don't know Scarlet Witch off the top of my head. I think that I mean I'll be honest. I think that this is gonna be as good as we get judgment wise. What's on this character? I think I'm on Chance's side here, where if we make judgment too easy to give out, we kind of undermine the core principle.
I'm trying to make it worse for the record.
Oh, you are? All right,
I only wanted to be able to do it one time in the entire game, like when he's dead.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant by it. I meant as like a one-time effect, kind of like
right. Okay.
Like if Ronan starts this game with a character, and if X, Y, or Z is met, he can put his judgment token on somebody.
I think that why we got confused is we've been talking we're kind of tepid on Ronan the Accuser, and you are making him objectively worse with this.
Yeah, I want that to be worse because I think he should be able to. I think he should have like 4s as his defenses, and I think like his strikes should be 6 dice. Like I think the judgment like holds him back on the rest of his cards.
That's totally fair.
So like if he just had a judgment superpower, like a static superpower that said like anytime this character is, dazed or dealt or something, like he can put starts the game with judgment token, he can put this token on someone else. Then he could have that 4 physical defense. He could have like a 6 dice on his strike. He could have other things go his way, because as of like a 4-threat model, like his health pool is in line, his defenses are meh, his attacks are meh. Like he doesn't have like the only thing he really does is the judgment token. So like if you're just ignoring him or keeping him out of the fight, then he's just doing nothing the entire game.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and you are correct. I agree with you. Like he can't catch a buff while he has this judgment superpower, and yeah,
they're very limited in what they can do with him because of how good judgment is.
Yeah.
Now they could just address judgment.
I don't know. I think judgment's fine if the way that it's in the game right now.
Yeah,
barely,
because it's just not right.
There's 4 models that put it out. Yeah, it's basically not.
Are there 4? I thought there were only 3.
Ronan, Scarlet Witch, Nova, and Clea.
Clea can put it out. Oh yeah, the new Clea can put it out. Yeah. Okay, I see. All right. Well, let's. Do you know if there's a tactics card that's associated with this guy? I don't think there is. We should point out he does have the ability to take the Power Stone. He is a gym bearer for Power Stone. Do you ever take him with the Power Stone? Because I am skeptical. I really don't feel like you want to take him at 5 threat.
I don't think he's good at 4 threat, let alone a 5 threat.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not skeptical. I'll say it with certainty. You don't take the Power Stone.
Yeah, I'm not on the team that he's a good 4 threat. I'm not making him a 5 threat.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's.
If there was a different stone, I think you could have a conversation. I just think the power stone probably does
Yeah.
the least, especially for him because he doesn't really spend power.
Yeah. I think I agree there. Like if he had reality or space,
Reality. Mm-hmm.
one of those
Something to
two,
move him
yeah,
or move
I
other
feel a
people
lot
towards
better.
him.
Do you guys
Yeah.
remember when we got the updated card and Creed Justice cost 0 power? He
I
was
do, yeah.
so great for a couple days.
Isn't that going on like right now with somebody else?
We
Yeah,
know that
Spectrum.
her superpower is 4 now. Spectrum is 4 for her spender.
Oh, okay. We know what it is. All right.
Yep,
Yeah,
they
some
tweeted it out.
a staff member tweeted it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we need to give a letter grade to Ronan the Accuser. So this guy, I mean, he's a classic older model who is a little underperforming, but not enough to catch a buff. So he's in this bizarre space where he is not great, but he's good. He's certainly good, and he's not likely to get much better in the near future. So I'm giving him a C plus. I feel like I'm maybe being a little generous, but I think that he is a C plus of a model. Brad, what would you like to give to Ronan the Accuser?
Well, I was gonna give him a B minus, but when Optimistic Fred gives him a C plus, I'm feeling like I'm probably off. But I'll stick with my B minus.
I think that my grade is the least important grade of anyone that's given. like what I give is the least relevant. Okay, Brandon, what would you like to give to Ronan the Accuser?
I'm glad Fred understands that his grade's the least important. But I don't think you're necessarily wrong here. I'm going to agree with you, so we can be wrong together.
At the C plus range?
I thought you said C. I'm going to go with a C. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
I have to be more pessimistic than Fred. The world has to be in line here.
Steven, what are you going to give to Ronan the Accuser?
I am going to caveat and say that this character might be better when Mr. Adam Warlock comes out. We'll have to see. But I'm going to give him an optimistic B minus like Brad.
Okay, okay. And Chance, what are you going to give to Ronan?
I'm in line with you. C plus. There's good things on this card. They just don't mesh together perfectly well in a way that makes this game or that breaks the game. So he's fine.
All right. Okay, well, Brad, do you have any comic books that feature our friend here, Ronan, spelled Ronan?
That really bugs you, doesn't it, Fred?
There are two characters whose name is Ronan in the game right now.
One's name is Ronan, and the other one's name is Ronan.
Yeah, okay. I'll make sure to be very careful with my pronunciation.
He's an alien. That's his name.
Uh-huh.
Ronan has been in some comics. I actually should have I didn't do this. I should have looked up what issue he marries Crystal, which is what makes him an Inhuman in the game. I didn't do that. I'm not recommending that today because that's just not what I did. My first one is Fantastic Four 65. This is Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Fred, this has come up enough. What do you think happens? Why the Fantastic Four 65 by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby is in here?
Why do I think it's in there?
Yeah, why did I pick this?
Oh, God.
Why did I pick a single issue of Fantastic Four from, this might be the early 70s or 60s, by Stan Lee and Jack
that
Kirby?
Ronan the Accuser appears.
Yes, of course it
Because
is.
it's the first time he's in it.
Yes, this is the first comic he's in. It's actually the first comic that the Supreme Intelligence also appears, and the Kree. So this is actually a really important issue for Marvel history. But the Supreme Intelligence finds out about Earth, and he wants to investigate it. And he sends Ronan to gather information, and he has a kerfuffle with the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Yep. And then I've the second.
Is he sent to
What?
judge Earth? And
No,
does he
he's
find
just
us? Does he accuse us?
no. He's not here to accuse us. He's literally just here to like do an experiment and gather information.
Okay.
Yep. And then the other thing I have is Annihilators. Because honestly, most of the comic stuff I've read comes from this era of the cosmic stuff. Dan Abnett, Andy Lanning, Tan Ing Hewitt, or Huat, or something. Huat. It's a Dan Abnett comic. It's good.
Right.
This is the end of the Dan Abnett era, and the Annihilators are basically the Guardians of the Galaxy turned up to 11. Instead of people like Rocket and Star-Lord and a tree, they have competent, powerful people like Silver Surfer, Beta Ray Bill, Gladiator, Quasar, and Ronan. So it's like the Guardians are a bunch of low-powered misfits barely scraping by. These are the heavy hitters protecting the universe.
These are the actual Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, only they called themselves the Annihilators.
Right.
Hey, Fred, do you know why they called themselves the Annihilators?
Does it have to do with them annihilating things?
No, it's because Marvel had a really big crossover called Annihilation, and it was really popular, so they followed it up by a big crossover called Annihilation Conquest. And so they called them the Annihilators so people would be tricked into picking up the book. But the real trick is that it's written by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, so it's really good.
So it's worth picking up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it.
Okay. All right. The only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. So, the character of Ronan the Accuser was played by Lee Pace in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Fred, be honest.
Yes?
Did you have to look that up or did you know it?
I had to look it up. I did not know that off the top of my head.
I knew you had to look it up. See, I knew off the top of my head.
I did not know off the top of my head. So I went into Lee Pace's catalog to see what other movies he had been in. And can I be honest? Like, I'm not blown. He's in some good stuff. I have not seen everything he's been in, and I have not seen the new Running Man yet, which he is apparently in. So I can't really speak on that. But I'm blown away. I'm not blown away by his cinematography. So here's what I am going to recommend today. I'm going to recommend a movie that I really enjoyed, a movie that I saw recently, and that I unabashedly like. I unabashedly like all of these movies, and that is Avatar: Fire and Ash. I'm a sucker for spectacle, and that is absolutely what this movie serves. It is just an incredible operatic, just explosion masterpiece by James Cameron, who is a real, just an absolute master of a director. So if you like the other Avatar movies, this is honestly probably the worst of them, but that's still saying something. Like, it's still an amazing movie to watch. Storyline wise, it's basically the first two movies mashed together again. Like, there's the beat for beat, it's basically the same movies all over again, but that works still because they are really amazing things to watch. So that's what I'm going to recommend that people watch. Go watch Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Listeners, instead of watching Dances with Smurfs, please watch the show Slow Horses instead. Slow Horses. It's on Apple. It's so good.
Slow
My
Horses.
mom wants me to watch that.
It's
She
so
says
good.
it's based off some really good books.
Yeah, the book series is pretty popular, and I'll probably end up reading them because the show's so great. It's Gary Oldman, which is all you should need to know. But
Well, yeah.
it's MI5 operatives who have screwed up in the job, and so they're not trusted anymore. So they're shipped off to this satellite location and given busy work, hoping to make them miserable so that they will quit. And they keep getting mixed up in some spy stuff around London, and it's really good.
Does it also feature Lee Pace?
No, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. you just
It's
like
just
the
what
show.
I've been watching this week, and it's really good.
Okay,
And,
that's fair. That's fair.
and Fred gave a bad suggestion, so
I did not. My suggestion is great. You should go watch it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Well, Brad, I have been looking for a reason to subscribe to Apple Plus for a lot of reasons. There are a lot of good shows on there,
yeah,
and
this one's the best one.
I'm just so overburdened by subscription services.
Yeah.
There are too many, and yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening today. For us talking about Ronan the Accuser. I'd like to say a special thanks to Chance for joining us to talk about him. And I'd like to say thanks to Brandon and to Steven and to Brad for being here as frequently as they are. And thank you for listening out there in podcast land. Goodbye, and I hope that you all have excellent games of Marvel Crisis Protocol.